What is up, Carol here with Timile. What I want to show you today is how to get started with Neve, our flagship WordPress theme. Alright, so first things first, what is Neve? Just in case you've stumbled upon this video without wanting to use Neve, without knowing what it is, so let me just introduce you to it very quickly. So Neve is our main WordPress theme. It comes with lots of starter designs, meaning it's a truly multi-purpose theme that you can use no matter if you're setting up a business website, a blog, an e-commerce store, or anything else really. The theme has it all. It has two main versions, the free version and the premium version, but we're really not forcing you to upgrade to the premium one. The free version comes with all the features that a website that's just getting started would need. So let me show you around. So first things first, when you go to your WordPress admin, the first thing you need to do is click on Add Theme, and here just look for Neve. Once you find it, it's usually gonna be the first one on the list. Just click on Install and then on Activate. And as soon as you activate this theme, you're gonna be invited to install the starter design package. What this means basically is that Neve is gonna import tons of interesting, great looking website designs that you can use with a couple of clicks. So let's do that. Let's click the main button, let's wait a couple of seconds, and Neve is gonna ask you about the type of website that you're building. So it gives you a couple of options. I'm just gonna go with business. So once you do that, you're gonna see all the business designs in Neve. So there are quite a handful of them available in here. Of course, you can switch to a different category. You can switch to education, to e-commerce, to news, to whatever you want. And you also get to choose if you want your design to be a native block editor design. This is this icon right here, or if you want them built with Elementor, a very popular page builder plugin. So I'm gonna go with native for the demo here. And one more thing, some of the designs that you're gonna see on this page are gonna be only available in the pro version of the theme. You're gonna see this little pro badge here in the corner. However, you can also see all the free designs. Just click on the free button and you're gonna see all of them here on the list. Okay, let's go with the first one. So just let's click on it, and right away you can customize some elements of the design. So first things first, if you have a logo ready for your new site, then you can just click on this section and then upload it from your desktop. If you don't have your logo yet, don't worry, you can add it later on as well. However, what you can do here is choose the colors that your new design is gonna use. If you like this, default version with the blues, the whites and so on, then you can stay with that. But of course, you can also see what else is available for starters. So you can go with a darker theme, quite nice, I think, or you can go for slightly different colors, or even change the vibe further. Again, you can change those colors later on as well. Another section that you might want to look into is the typography. So just by the click of a button, you can change the default font selection that's used in the design. I think I like this last one, to be honest, so I'm gonna continue with that. And in the very next section, Neve is gonna ask you to select some of the features that are going to be imported to your website. So a couple of them are going to be selected by default, and if you want to, you can also enable image optimization, caching, or AI chatbot. This is up to you. For this demo, I'm just gonna continue. So start import, and just like that, Neve is gonna do all the work. It's gonna import the design, is gonna import all the demo content, and basically in a couple of minutes, we're gonna be able to see the site. Actually, it's already done. So if you want to get some information from Neve, you can provide your email in here, submit your details, and subscribe to the newsletter, or if not, you can just skip it and view your site. And here it is. So this is the site that I just created, actually more like imported. I didn't do any of the design. So as you can see, the site is already looking okay. It's a good foundation to build on top of. So let's see what's possible. Let's go into the dashboard, and in the dashboard, let's go to the Neve section. So this is the main panel of the Neve theme. All the options, all the main options and customizations of the theme are gonna be listed here for quick access. And this is also where you can check some of the recommended solutions, additional ones, and and explore some of the Pro options that come with the Pro version of Neve. Actually, you can go into the free versus Pro section and compare, all the things that you're getting with Pro versus free. But we're gonna get to that in a couple of seconds. So first things first, if we go back to the Welcome tab, you're gonna see a couple of elements, a couple of highlighted sections that are a great start to start customizing your site. So for example, upload a logo. This sounds like a good idea, so let's do that. So in here, just basically click on this plus button, drag and drop a logo from your desktop. And once you have it, just click on select and crop, so you can adjust the part of the logo file that's gonna be displayed, crop the image, and you can see it right here. I have a very small logo. It's just a demo logo, but it's gonna work. It's okay. If you want to, you can also pick if you want to display just the logo on its own or with the site title, and then also pick where you want the logo displayed. I think I like this one, but the site title isn't the most optimized. That's better. Okay, let's go with that. I'm not very creative. Then here in the sidebar, you can explore all the other options available when it comes to the logo section of the website header. For example, what I will probably want to do is make the logo a bit bigger. Maybe like this one, 80 should be okay. Just that it's a bit more visible. I'm gonna stay with that. So whatever you do, once you complete the work that you want to do, just remember to click on publish. Okay, so we do have a new logo. What's next? Yeah, set colors. Seems like a good idea as well. So part of that we did, when we imported this design, but we can do more. We can customize the specific individual colors of this design. So there are some nice color tools here available. You can pick whatever color you want from those boxes in here. So you can pick the primary accent, the secondary accent, and so on and so forth. So let me just demo this quickly for you. So for example, in most of web design, the primary accent color is going to be used for things like buttons and other focus elements on the page. So if you take a look at those two buttons, if I go into primary color and I change it to something else, maybe to something like that, you're going to notice that they've just become orange, right? So apart from that, we also have the secondary color. So whenever a secondary accent is needed, this color is going to be used. And in Neve's case, that is for the hover effect of the button. So we can change that too, maybe to like a lighter version of the orange. And as you can see, it starts working. So yeah, you can pick whatever other colors you want to use for those elements. And then of course, when you're done, click on publish. So yeah, next thing, customize fonts. Let's do that. I'm going to show you how that part works. So this is where you can get a bit more detailed when it comes to the customization of your fonts compared to what we did when we imported this design. So for example, you can pick the exact font that you're going to use. So you're going to see as I'm changing the fonts, they of course are changing in the main section of the screen as well. So pick whatever matches your brand, matches your aesthetic. I'm just going to stay with the default font selection in here for the main font family. But what you can also do is that you can adjust some of the other headers that are present on the screen. So for example, pay attention to the featured work section. So right now it uses the same font as the main font family. But again, I can change that to Arial maybe. So right now it's a different font. And of course we can also customize other elements like the size of the font, the line height, and so on. Let me just go back to the main font. I think I like it more. And just like that, you can do the same thing to your other headers on the page. So yeah, again, let's publish, let's go back. Okay, so next element that you will want to take care of are the layout options, the main layout options. So what those allow you to adjust are some of the main default dimensions of your design. However, to see them, we actually need to switch the page. That's because we are looking at the homepage now, and the homepage is a custom designed page that we're gonna adjust in just a second, but all the settings that have been assigned to the homepage, they do often override the default settings that you get to adjust here. So to see those specific ones, you're just gonna need to switch to a normal default WordPress page, which for example is this sample page. So every new WordPress installation comes with this page. So I'm just gonna make the screen a bit smaller so that you can see what's going on. So for example, if I go into container, I get to adjust the entire width of my entire site. So that's one thing. Second thing, you can go into content versus sidebar settings, and right now this page is full width. That means that there's no sidebar to be seen. So we can enable, for example, a sidebar on the left, but nothing appeared. So what's going on? Yeah, you need to adjust the main content width to something lower than 100%. And as I start to reduce the width of the main content section, I will start seeing the sidebar appear, and I get to switch the sidebar to appear on the right, basically wherever I want it. So that's one possible setting. I think I'm gonna go back to the full width. I like it better. Then in this next section, we can change if we want the design of the page to be normal, as it says in here, or use a cover for the header. And you can then customize this header however you want. Let's go back to normal. Then you can also adjust some of the other options and even come back to the color settings from this panel as well. So let's just publish. I think I like where I am. Let's go back to the main panel, and from here let's start customizing the header options. So the header is of course what you can see here at the very top of the design, and Neve comes with a really nice header builder tool that you can use. So the way it works is that whatever you see here at the top, it's kind of referenced by those sections here at the bottom. So for example, you do see a logo here in the top left, and you also see the logo section in here to reference it. Then on the right there's the menu and a button, an example button, and you can see those two elements in here as well. So what that means is that we can basically add other elements to the header using this customizer here at the bottom. So first thing we can do, just to show you what's possible, I can drag this button and put it in the center. Similarly, I can just drag it to appear next to the logo, or I can even put it in another line below the logo, or below the primary menu, or above the primary menu. So you can basically decide what you want to do here, and it's a really powerful tool to customize the header. Then of course you can also add new elements. So right here on the left, you're gonna see some available components that come with the free version of Neve. So for example, a very popular solution would be to add a search form. So let's put it here, or maybe actually let's move it to be in here. So right now I do have a search form at the very top of my design. And yeah, you can experiment with those, you can drag and drop them, and when you're happy with what you're seeing, just remember publish. So that is it. In a very similar way, we can also adjust the footer. So the footer is controlled by a very similar builder section. So what we have is a footer customization section at the bottom, and then our actual footer to see what's going on. So again, I can move those sections however I want. I can place them in whatever section of the footer that I want, and then when I'm happy with the result, I can publish the page. And of course I can also use some of the components, custom components here. So yeah, let's publish, let's go back. And one more thing that I want to do is adjust the layout of the block. So if you are using a block component on your website, you will want to check this out as well. Again, let's make it a bit smaller. So there's a very similar customization interface here, similar to what we saw with the sample page. So yeah, those are my example blog posts. If I want to, I can enable a sidebar here, and it's gonna start appearing where I've set it to appear. I can go left, right. I think I'm still gonna go full width. And then what I can also do is change the display of the main listing of blog posts. So for example, right now, all my blog posts are displayed as a list. I can go to covers, which will create more of a block design, section design. And in case those posts do have featured images assigned, those featured images are gonna be displayed here as well. Of course, I can also go with a more trendy design, meaning a grid. So yeah, you also get to decide the elements, the data details that you want to display alongside each of your blog posts. So for example, what you can see is that each blog post has a thumbnail, a title and meta section, and then the excerpt. So what you can also do is, for example, go into the title and meta section and enable maybe the author avatar, and you're gonna see my little picture appear in here. You can also show the last updated date of the blog post. Similarly, you can customize other elements displayed here in the listing. You can even pick if you want to display details like the category in the meta section of each blog post, the author, and so on. So with that, let's maybe click into one of the blog posts. We can customize this screen as well, but for that, let's go back one step and let's select single post. So as you can see, the option we have selected in here is that each blog post has a sidebar on the right. Again, let's change it to the left if we want to. Then there's the main content width, and then, there's the setting for what the header of this blog post should look like. So right now I have it set to cover, but again, I can go to normal, which will result in a normal title section. I think I like the cover section more. So similarly, you can experiment with all those elements here to tune up the design to make it your own. And again, when done, publish. Let's go back once again. What I'm guessing you would want to do is maybe customize your homepage. So let's click into the homepage. This is it. So if you want to change anything here, just click on edit page, and this is gonna take you to the block editor of WordPress. You can do lots of things here, and it's very easy to use actually. All you do is just, click into any section that you see on the page, and you can start editing the text visible in here. You can start removing the text, typing in your original content. My awesome headline. Yeah, seems about right. Quite similarly, you can also edit the buttons. Editing buttons is really simple actually. Just like with any other text on the page, you can edit the text on the button. Click here. And also you can edit the link that the button is pointing to. So just click on this little pencil icon and you get to put whatever link you want in here. Then let's maybe try to edit some other element. For example, you can click on any image that you see on the page and maybe click on replace, which will allow you to switch this image to something of your own, right? So you can open the media library and pick whatever other image you have in here. Yeah, maybe this one. Let's select it, and it's just been changed. Then one more thing, whatever you select in here, in the main section, you're gonna see an additional panel with some maybe additional options here on the right side. So for example, if I click on any of the images, I can also set a different aspect ratio for the image. I can maybe add some animations. Those are another of Neve's features, actually by a helper plugin that comes with Neve called Author Blocks. Similarly, you can set custom CSS, maybe some visibility conditions, and also you can adjust the style of this image. Similarly, if I click on any of the text in here, I can also, change the color of the text, maybe set some background for the text, change the sizes, and so on. So really lots of options, but most importantly, we don't have to limit ourselves to just edit what's already on the page. We can add new stuff. So maybe let's just collapse this menu and click on this plus icon in here. And what's gonna happen is that you're gonna see loads of new different blocks that you can add to your page from this list in here. So what you can do is add individual blocks, such as maybe a maps section. You can of course customize it, to point to where you want it pointing to, but that's a different topic. Apart from individual blocks, you can also click into patterns. And what this gonna do is allow you to include whole sections of blocks that form individual design elements. So if I click into something maybe like call to action, I will be able to add a nice looking call to action to my page, maybe this one. So when I click it, it's gonna appear here at the very bottom. So just like that, you can customize your homepage by adding blocks, by removing blocks, by editing the text you see here, adding new graphics, new images, and so on. And again, when you're done, save. So our page is ready. I only added a couple of customizations, changed a couple of images, added a map, but of course you can do whatever you want. So one final thing, let's check out Neve Pro. So Neve Pro you can get from this website, from our website. Once you do get it, it's gonna come as a WordPress plugin. So what you do, go into plugins, go into add plugin, upload plugin, because you're gonna get a zip file from Neve, from our website, that you get to pick here and install on your website. So let me just find it quickly, open, install now. It's gonna take a second, activate, yeah, and just like that, it installs the license gets copied on its own. You don't have to enter anything. And then what you get is loads of interesting pro features. So for example, if I go into header options one more time, I'm gonna see that right now I have a lot more stuff available in here in the components section, a lot more stuff that I can add to my header. For example, I can add social icons maybe. Yeah, like those here. Of course, I can customize them, you know, to match my brand. And of course, I get to insert the exact link that I want this icon to point to. Then I can add things like my contact information, which again, I get to customize, of course, and so on. So basically I can use a lot more content elements in my design. Let's publish those. I like those. Let's go back. And then if I go into the settings, I can enable some of the custom elements, custom modules that are gonna expand my website even more. For example, I can go into manage modules, and in here I can customize my login page just by, you know, enabling this, make it possible to install custom fonts, enable a custom cookie notice, and do lots more. And each of those new modules, new options is then easily accessible, easily customizable just by clicking on the settings link under each of them. Yeah, but those are just a couple of examples of what you can find in Neve Pro. There's lots more. If we go to the Neve website, you can browse through all the great additions that you're gonna find with Neve Pro. Additional blog layouts, a more advanced header and footer builder, the header we've just seen a minute ago. Apart from that, there's also a range of features that enhance your WooCommerce experience. You can customize your cart. You can set some really nice looking designs to make your WooCommerce site look a bit more original. And then there's our Elementor booster in case you are using the Elementor page builder. There's the pro version of author blocks plus custom layouts and our original content restriction module. This one is useful if you want to hide some of your content behind the password and so on. So yeah, do check it out. So this has been how to get started with Neve WordPress theme, both free and pro. I hope you're gonna check it out. If you have any questions, do let us know. In the meantime, don't forget to like, subscribe. There's a lot more content coming up, and see you next time.